So we're going to go ahead and take some concrete. I got the strong concrete, high strength. This is not fiber reinforced. I didn't have any of that in my shop. I will be using fiber reinforced concrete when we pour our slab over the top, just to make it that more sturdy. All right, so I found out that when you're using a mixer, it's good that if you put a little bit of water in the bottom. So that's the first thing we're going to do here, is put a little bit of water in the bottom before we put our concrete in. Now that's looking pretty good, but we're going to add a little bit more mixture. I want it a little more stiffer concrete when I'm pouring this. I don't really want it really soupy. That's looking good. I'm really happy with how that's turning out. And thank goodness we didn't lose our form on the first pour. Hopefully we don't lose it definitely on the last pour. So let's grab the rest of this concrete. I figured it would only take a bag of concrete to cast that form, but that didn't go very far. So we may have to break out one more bag. I got 3 bags, so I feel confident we can pour that little lintel with 3 bags. All right guys, we're gonna finish this up, top this out, smooth this off with a trowel. But I just want to show you the makings of a lintel, a concrete lintel. We're gonna leave these forms up probably for about 4, maybe 5 days. I wanna make sure that this is solid and cured before I take those forms off. That way we don't get any cracks when it's under its own weight. We want it all to adhere and cure really nicely. All right, we got our lintel poured. It's been drying for about, well, this is the 3rd day that it's been drying. I took the backboard off, it's set. I'm still not gonna put any pressure, not gonna bother it, but I need to be able to pour my vermiculite fireplace ceiling against the lintel. So what I've done is I've taken a piece of melamine and I've framed up about 3 inches deep, and I'll bring you over here and show you what I got. So we got about 3.5 inches deep here, and just under this is where our gas fire logs are going to go. And I was concerned that the heat off of the gas fire logs might mess with the concrete slab that's holding the oven. So to prevent that, what I'm going to do is use vermiculite concrete mixture and use that as an insulation to protect the hearth that's going to go over this. So I've got my measuring can, I've got a mixer. We're going to gently mix it in that. But the mixture is 5 parts vermiculite, 1 part cement, 1 part fire clay, and that should give enough of an insulation that it'll protect the hearth. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to bring you guys back over here, and you get to see all the mess I've got going on under here. I've got a sawmill I've got to put together, so it's kind of crowding up my space and looking all junky right now. But I ordered the 35-pound bag of vermiculite off of Amazon, and this is what it comes in. You got a big bag that comes in a box. I ordered 2 of them. The other one is sitting over there. I got a 5-gallon bucket that I'm going to mix everything in, 50 pounds of fire clay powder, and then I've got about a half-used bag of cement. But if I'm using 5 parts vermiculite to 1 fire clay and 1 cement, I should have enough materials. And if not, we'll pause where we're at and then we'll go get more materials. The only thing I'm concerned about running out of would be my mortar, but I think I'm fine. So let's go ahead and put in the mixture. Vermiculite is a naturally mined material. They just mine it right out of the ground. I think it comes out of volcanoes. So we're going to use 1 can. Let's see what the vermiculite looks like. They use this in the garden center as a potting soil mixture. That's what they add into potting soil. Really light and airy, fluffy. So that's 1. All right, 1 part fire clay. Now this bag of fire clay that I bought from my local masonry supply in Pensacola at Acme Brick comes with a funnel already built into the bag. How convenient is that? I've never seen that before. How come feed stacks can't be that way? 1 fire clay. Now let's do this. Let's go ahead and put all this in the mixer, and then I'll add my 1 part of cement in on that, and we'll just give it a little quick mix, and we'll go ahead and wet that down and get that poured. And 1 mortar. All right, there's our 1 mortar. All right, we got it nice and moistened in there. It holds together when you squeeze it. Should do just fine. Let's go ahead and get this poured and see how it turns out. Bring you guys back around over here. Now we want this to remain light and fluffy, so we're not going to work this down and try to compact it. We're going to leave it as airy as possible, because air is what creates insulation, right? 1 bucket got us a little over halfway there. That's good. A little bit more. I almost forgot. I need to put some rebar wire in here so that this holds whenever we pull the supports out. So let me pause the video and go get the wire so we can work that in. we're still in a good place. We can get that worked in without any problems. Okay, we're moving on to the next step. The next step was in each other hole I filled up with concrete. That's been setting for a couple of days. Every other hole from that I filled up with sand so that my concrete doesn't pour down into those holes whenever we go to lay the slab. So that's just a filler. Now, there's a couple of things you can do to build a support tray. You can use plywood to support this up, which is probably stronger. I opted to leave the bottom support in place. So we're going to use Durock fiber reinforced concrete board. And we're going to build the frame supports down in here, but we're not going to nail anything or screw anything together. Everything's just going to float. Once we start pouring the concrete, all the weight will be straight down on the 2x4s and the 3x3 posts that we have here. Now, under each one of these posts is a wedge. So that way when we get ready to pull all these support boards out of here, you just pull that wedge, the little 2x4s and the support posts drop down, you can pull those out. Now on top of that, we took 2x4s, cut them to length, and we're just going to put them right on top of those posts. So this will support the fiber reinforced board. Now, like I said, it's balanced. Yeah, something. Like I said, it's a balancing act. So we're going to try to stand all these posts up, and then we're going to put our fiber reinforced board on top of those. I'm going to be relying on a lot of this weight being supported by this cinder block right here. So we're going to use that as one of our key supports. What's that? No. I just copy everything that I see. Nothing that I do is original. All right, that should support the back side. So let's go ahead and move our Durock. Now let's start putting our boards up around the outside perimeter so that when we pour our concrete, it doesn't fall off the edge. the most important thing was having a level structure. So even if there's some variance in the thickness of the concrete, at least it'll be level across the top, and that's what's most important.